Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, ghoul, a goblin, a zombie with no conscience. Tell me, what do these things all have in common? Collective, everybody knows you're an effing monster. They need to see your hands at the concert. Gossip, gossip. Haters, just stop it. Everyone knows my collective is a monster. Clock it. Guys, it's so good to share energy with you today. We're getting right into a lesson. It's a channel music message, and it's coming your way. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath, and it's so good to share energy with you. This is my corner of the internet where we talk about things relating to celebrities, but also us and narcissistic recovery. We break down life lessons that play out on the grand stage, and today we're going to take a page from the music area. So we're going to talk about the song Monster. This song, when it came out, was iconic for a lot of reasons. It is arguably one of Nicki Minaj's best verses. We don't know who or how the magic of that all happened. Kanye was salty, bitter, and petty and jealous because Amber Rose, who he was dating at the time, asked him to have Nicki work with him, and Nicki literally killed all these dudes on this song. She unalived them, specifically, as we would now say, the YouTube algorithm streets, and it was really interesting. Nevertheless, there are some notable verses on here. Kanye's for sure, and Nicki's absolutely, but the one that we're going to talk about today and disseminate is Jay-Z. So it's my favorite because for an Earth Angel, I think you may relate to the way that he expresses our experience. He says Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, ghoul, a goblin, a zombie with no conscience. Question, what do these things all have in common? Everybody knows I'm a effing monster. He says, conquer, stomp you, stop you silly nonsense. Nonsense. None of you haters, if you see the words, it's going to be different, so we're going to take some artistic liberties. None of you haters know where the swamp is. None of you haters have seen the carnage I've seen. I still hear fiends scream in my dreams. It is his retelling of growing up in the Marxy projects, and people do not understand when they will opine about the climb that Jay-Z has done. They do not understand what it took to get there. Now, we're not debating about the morals of the person or the history. Today we're going to talk about the artistry and also kind of getting it out of the mud, because that's the point. Both things can be true, and any artist that you might look up to, especially since we talk about celebrities here at times, will fail you. And any guru that you look up to will fail you, including me too. Meaning, at some point you'll be disappointed with the character of the person. But I ask you to observe the art that they left behind, because from that is where we will opine and also dive deep and uncover what lessons will be relevant for us and what we need to see. Gossip, gossip, haters, just stop it. Everybody knows I'm an effing monster. I'm gonna need to see your hands at the concert. I'm gonna need to see your hands, Kanye said. Profit, profit. Haters, I got it. Everybody knows I'm a monster. Stop it. Guys, you have been declared and decreed in the universal streets a monster. My favorite part of this is the illustration of all of the monsters, because that's Jay-Z. But the part, I'll skip over one part that's not really relevant, but I love this. He says, everybody wants to know what my Achilles heel is. Love. I don't get enough of it. All I get is these vampires and bloodsuckers. All I see is these haters I made millionaires milling about, spilling their feelings in the air. All I see is these fake fucks with no fangs trying to draw blood from my ice cold veins. He says, I smell a massacre. Seems to be the only way to back you bastards up. When he said that, I felt that. I felt that. The spiritual warfare that you will go through as an Earth Angel can be intense. But when you're going through an Ascension, or if you happen to be in the metaphysical work to any degree, it is going to be triple that intensity. It's going to be so much, and it's going to feel like a never-ending deluge of onslaughts, attacks, demonic energies, entities, manifested, shape-shifting crazies. And you see this because you are out of the matrix to that degree. You might still be in it. Lately, I've been super feeling like I'm in the Truman Show. I'm like, is everyone a paid actor here? Is this really happening? Is this my life? Some of the things, guys, I could not even, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you some of the stuff that happens to me at times. But that's why I relate to this so completely, because you have to protect your energy. And I learn new things about that every day. I feel like every single day of my life, I'm learning something new about protecting my energy, being more boundary, being more healthy, emotionally, taking accountability. So, that's the first thing we're going to do here on this corner of the internet, is take accountability for how we can show ourselves more self-respect and how we can show up for ourselves in better ways. But now let's talk about the real truth, is that the demons like to play. And that's the spiritual warfare. We're here, and apparently God wanted something to do, so he made us Netflix that he likes to tune into. So that's why we're dealing with these monsters and archons and energies that are always after us. But I just related to that. When he's speaking about, specifically when he said, all I see is these people that are milling about, spilling their feelings in the air, he's talking about Dame Dash very specifically, who was infamously his partner. But Dame loved the turn up and the party and the energy and the clout of the reality that they had manifested, especially since they had manifested it out of the mud. And Dame did not have the business acumen to the same degree that apparently Mr. Jay-Z did. And you can say, well, that's debatable, and I'm sure Dame would debate it, but we can look at the profit and loss errors and margins and who is who and what is what. And it's Dame who seems to be somewhat in a rut, and it is Jay-Z who ascended. Now, Jay-Z ascended for a lot of reasons, and so we're going to talk about some dark psychology here, a la Robert Greene, but let's dive in, because I think there's a little bit of truth that can be seen. Jay-Z is renowned for being cutthroat. He is a Sagittarius male, fire sign, and he definitely does things my way, like Frank Sinatra, another Sagittarius male. And what people say all the time is that Jay-Z is incredibly smart and incredibly strategic, but also very willing to release things. And I want to take away from that. I'm not saying that you have to be a diabolical, etc., whatever you may feel about the other part of Jay-Z. But I am saying that there is there's an importance to attaching strategy to your decision-making process and also release. For me, my scorpionic placement is in the 8th house, right? And that means that I am very comfortable with things ending, probably more comfortable than a lot of people would be, in that it doesn't trigger me the way that it does for other people. I don't feel the same emotions. And in that regard, I relate to trying to get blood from my ice cold veins. It doesn't mean that I'm evil or not warm or loving or emotionally available to the people that I call friends and family, that I allow next to me, that I allow whatever level of proximity. But you got to be so careful. I'm learning every day about protecting my energy in different ways, and I feel like this really encapsulates why you have to be that careful. When Dame and Jay were working together, it was an amazing time, but there's this one picture where you can almost see the light come out of Jay-Z's eyes when he's making the decision, in order for me to ascend the way that I dream about ascending, I need to leave these people behind. And this is a biblical principle. When Abraham is being sent up the mountain to sacrifice his son Isaac, what God says to him is, leave the asses behind. And that used to be one of my favorite chapters because the pastor recurs. It was so funny. But he's like, leave the donkeys behind, because essentially where we're going is higher ground. We're ascending into rare air, and the donkeys and also the servants and all the help you have won't make it there. You need it to be you and like a very pared down, kit and pack and camp, because nothing else is going to be able to ascend the way that I am guiding you to ascend. You don't get to take all your family and your friends. And in that moment, Jay-Z made a decision to end his relationship with Dame Dash, and it was vicious, it was brutal, it was ice cold. He just cut him off. To this day, Dame's like, oh, if Jay would just have gave me money. Like, he's milling about, spilling his feelings in the air. And Jay is like, but I made you millionaires. Earth Angels, the way that this relates to us specifically is that we traffic in an abundant Midas touch energy. energy. And people love to poo-poo it and act like they don't understand. But in your absence, they kind of start to see God's plan, which is that you were dispatched in more than likely to provide a level of help and assistance to whatever degree they may have needed it. Now, that's not to say that you may not need something too and that there shouldn't be some level of reciprocity, but it is to say you have to be so careful who is close to you, because they can cause catastrophe and they can be a liability. And Jay-Z assessed Dame as a liability, even though he had helped him to ascend, even though his Midas touch had affected him, even though they had made millions together, they no longer could stay together. And then you can clearly see who was always destined to take the space-bound trajectory. Stay tuned for a video coming up shortly about how to support an empress. It's really good. Gail and Oprah will be featured. So this is something that Jay-Z figured out early on. In order for him to ascend the way he needed to, he would have to cut things off. People will have feelings about that. When you do that, they will have feelings that they want to mill about, and they will want to spill their feelings in the air. That is just something that will happen when you decide that you can't care in that degree about everybody. And also, it's a one and done, meaning if you're dispatched in and you do the work you need to do, and they're not understanding that, then what else can you do? Jay-Z didn't have time to negotiate with himself about how he wanted to be a billionaire. He saw that there was a liability, and he got it away from him so that he could get up there, wherever there was for him. As Earth Angels, people will siphon and use and take our energy, and they'll still want proximity to us, even though they may resent us, and they may have feelings that they want to mill about and spill in the air, like Dame and many others did. People always have a thing to say about Jay-Z. He infamously raps about that, and he says, he said, what does he say? He says, everybody always says why they don't like Jay-Z, but it's usually because of what I didn't do for them. There's a really interesting thing about this, guys. We are super helpful and empathetic, obviously. And what that means is, I'm drawn here to a tarot card that's taking up, is we always want to bring people into the 10 of Cups, right? We always want to share our abundance and our happiness and our love and our fortune and our ideas and our helpful tips, whatever that may be. Whatever you have an abundance of, you will want to share that with people. People resent when you help them, especially because they think that you may think that you are better than them. And so this is why you have to make assessments to cut people off very quickly, because people in a poverty consciousness will stay there. Dame may have ascended to make millions, but if we were to assess him today, Dame was in a poverty consciousness. He may talk about being a boss, and he may talk about all of that stuff because it was an experience that he inhabited and manifested at a certain point in his life. But there was something about his frequency that meant, oh, that was intense. Oh boy, the people in your life don't love. The people in your life, it was my little grabber. The people in your life don't love when you take your light and your energy back. Nevertheless, it wasn't in his frequency to maintain. That was a confirmation if ever I did hear. It wasn't in his frequency to maintain the ability to keep money coming in year after year in that way. He may have had a burst, or he may have been able to siphon off the energy of Jay-Z at the time that happened, and that may have made him very happy, but it wasn't something that he could actually manage where he would have stability. And so people don't realize that, and so they will say you are a monster to the point of the video specifically. They will say that you're a monster, that you're evil, that you're cold. They will flip their narcissism and try to project it onto you, which is hilarious because y'all know how we empaths do. There isn't anything that we don't think through and maybe overthink through and think through. Well, I would say we can sometimes undervalue ourselves. That's what I was going to say. But we just really can macerate an idea or a thing that's going on because we care. We care so much. And what I realized is that when you make cuts sooner, you have far more peace. I remember soulmate dating someone in the last several years, and she just gave me nothing but grief. I mean, like grief on top of grief on top of grief. I don't have like happy memories with her to any degree because she was so surly and moody, and her energy was infecting me. That's another thing, guys. You have to move away from people so that you can maintain your vibrancy and literally your vibration, which will keep you in alignment with your manifestations. Please go check out the other video, Manifestations, the practical reality of it. Really, it's here. I did it a few days ago. You need to understand that there's work that will have to go into that, and part of that is having good spiritual hygiene, and part of that means keeping your auric field clean. And what that means is getting people away that are going to complain about how you help them or be ungrateful or entitled to any degree. Huge turn off and pet peeve for me. Man, I get to watch people. It's so beautiful to just sit back and let people do exactly what they want to do, and then say, okay, now I've seen the truth. And I don't negotiate with terrorists. I don't talk to them about it. I don't tell them what I saw, my findings, because that would be therapy, wouldn't it? You give that kind of energy away, guys, and not everybody deserves it. But you cannot have people that are proximal to you, that hate you, that resent you for being able to help them, that are jealous of you, that feel impoverished to whatever degree, when all of us started from the same baseline. Well, anyway, me, like Jay-Z, from poverty, okay? So, meaning projects specifically. I talked about him being in Marcy Projects. For me, I was in the projects too, in the Keys, specifically. So I know and relate to that aspiring ascent. But there are things you will have to do to continue to get ahead, which is to be really clear about the company that you keep, because from you, your energy, they will siphon and seep. When I was dating that soulmate energy, and she was just so miserable and ungrateful and like wanted to be avaricious and opportunistic, but also wanted to be surly and I even thinking about her today confuses me still. Like, what a piece of work, what a character. But nevertheless, this is the thing about that. I regret not cutting her off faster. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no happy memories. We're not going down memory lane. That is my greatest regret, because she was such a liability, and it cost me a lot of energy to recover from her effery and the mind games and the mental fog and the way that she made me feel very emotionally destabilized. My energy was real clean and juicy. It was like sleeping with someone with an STD, and of which she did have, not in a real way, but I'm talking about a spiritual STD. Literally demons. Demons. It's a demon. Like, she literally was demonically infested because she hadn't cleaned up her exes and all that stuff. And girl, I was Captain Save-A-Ho. I can't even sing the Drake song because that's how I felt I was. I thought I had ascended. I used to save hoes with a mask and a cape. Now I'm like, nah, good. Nah, love, I'm good. Go away. Except I was like, come here. Please stay. I'll fix you every day. A mess. And my biggest regret is that I didn't cut her off faster, because I clocked her nonsense immediately. But I was like, in limerence and in all my whatever personal crazy, we all have it, guys, including me. I'm a big old Leo. I love love and the magic and the mystery and the travel and all the romance of it all. But the first time that she was weird, ungrateful, spiteful, calculating, cruel, mean, laughing, using me, forgot, like, she just got worse and worse. Like, now I despise her. And that's why I wish I would have cut her off immediately. When I say despise, let's see, that's an interesting thing. I don't actively, like, sit day to day and think, I despise her. But when she comes up, yes, feelings of, like, ooh, what an unpleasant experience. What an unpleasant experience. What a horrible, ungrateful person. And that, to me, is the greatest sin for a Leo anyway. Everybody's different, so maybe you would not feel the same way, but for me, that's how it registered. But I don't reflect on the positive. I only learn her as a lesson. She was a karmic soul tie and lesson, and it was like, the lesson was, believe your eyes. I have another video here. People treat you how they feel about you. Don't be blind. That's what the caption says on the screenshot. Don't be blind. Okay, on the thumbnail, excuse me. Cut people off so they stop wasting your time, because it takes mental energy to decide. The reason that Jay-Z cut off Dame and all the rest of the hangers on is because they were draining his energy. And he was the one writing the songs, he was the one. And they were just like riding his coattails. And people will do that to you. And you won't think that it's true because we're sweet empaths and we're like, and all on our Pollyanna shit. But you have to toughen up, sis. You got to toughen up, babe. You got to put some chutzpah, because people are incredibly cruel and mean. And that's something you will run into repeatedly. and all of the, you know, how to manage your femininity chats and whatever. There's a million podcasts, there's a million YouTube channels. But one of the things they talk about is people that are earth angels, or people that are beautiful, or people that have some level that other people might want to attain to whatever degree, that you have to be fake. And I was listening to that one day and I was like, this is causing cognitive dissonance for me. Or you have to have mean, you have to, or be mean, or have boundaries. Because when you are too nice, people will take advantage of you every time. Well, I lead with my heart, guys. So I'm going to tell you, I've run this experiment and no lies were told. Whoever was saying that on whatever podcast or YouTube channel that was, literally had hold of an infinite truth. I lead with my heart and my soul. I love everybody. And even people that seem like they may come in with the best intentions for me can't wait to shank me because they think that I'm a dummy. Now, for them, it works out a little differently because I am bait and switch specifically. Like, I'm a test for them, carrying Anubis energy just like you. Magical, just like you. You know that little Italian lady that's always cooking, sing, and gorgeous, just like you. Well, you've got Anubis energy too, collective. And that means Anubis energy specifically is mythology, but it's dealing with the archetype of weighing someone's heart. Are you light as a feather? Or are you filled way down with sins and you can do much better, or you could have done much better? None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect at all. But that energy is something we earth angels do have, because we are pure souls specifically. We actually traffic in that energy, and people are like, they can't resist the snack, they can't resist the bait, they can't resist trying to play us and get us, and then they want to flip the narrative to say that we're monsters when we're like, oh, weren't you just trying to shank me? So you're mad that I didn't let you shank me? Because when I have led with my heart, I promise you guys, people have tried me every time. Even the people that you would never ever think would do it will, because they think that you're a simp, or they think they can get over, whatever the case may be. And again, there is a spiritual reason that it may be happening in my reality, but I don't want you guys to inhabit that all the time and then have to deal with the reverse smear campaign when you're actually the one that's divine and they were on demon time. And that's makes things so much easier when you just release as soon as you see fuckery, because the fuckery you see today is going to turn into a boulder that crushes you tomorrow. And it's never failed. Had I cut that person off right when she started to deviate into her path of devious demonicry, I would have been much happier and wealthier. Meaning, she was a depletion of my financial energy, of my creative energy, sacral energy specifically. And being with her was such a drain on me. Oh my gosh. And I hated so much time of it. Like, I kept trying to do it because I was like, it's gonna get better. It never got better. I'm embarrassed with all of these for even staying past that first time that she was played in my face, actually. Anyway, I got it right. I figured it out. But the thing about it is, you know, people will be around you because they want whatever they think your clout is. And what's so funny is I have zero clout. Nobody in this whole world knows I exist except for about 35 of you here, sis. Okay? People don't even know I'm here. So it's the craziest thing to me to have people be weird with me. Why are you being weird with me? I'm like, I'm the most normal person you will ever see. And that's another thing, guys. Set them free so that they can find out that they're in the bucket with the other crabs. Actually, people don't realize that. They don't appreciate you come around and everybody's acting crazy. They're gutting for you. It's insane. And they underestimate you. They think you are a simp, whatever. I'm telling you, I have another video that should be loaded by the time you see this. It's about an MMA fighter who someone underestimated. We're beasts. We just know how to manage it, because to whom much is given, much is expected. Our power is a great responsibility. My ability to clear audience, hear, see, smell, feel, and touch your literal conversations that you're having in your house when I'm a few states away. It's an interesting game that you don't want to play. You're not equipped to play. People don't really understand the cosmic and the, the spiritual way. They may think they do. It reminds me of, you guys remember road rules and Real World? You think you know, but you have no idea. They really have no idea. And so the thing about it is they will say you're a monster while they're milling about, spilling their feelings in the air. But if they could have shanked you and got you down, they would do it again and again, and they would never care. I promise you. I have allowed people literally to show me who they are, and every time I've seen the worst of humanity. There are very very few. And that's why if you have good people around you, cherish them, because people are so wild, guys. And that's why Jay-Z said, I smell a massacre seems to be the only way to back you bastards up. Touche, Jay-Z. And a massacre is not left up to you and me, collective. A massacre is done by our ancestors who are watching and our angels. I pity the fools, man. It's a funny thing to observe. People with the hubris of Icarus ascending too close to the sun with wax wings that will melt because they're wanting to have fun. I hope it was a fun day. I hope you got all of the play that you wanted to play out, because now you'll understand that demons don't like when you promise them something and then you don't walk it all the way out. People are making deals with the devil, collective, when it comes to you, and that's what they don't realize. They're promising the devil, listen, there's this tasty earth angel. She's delicious. She be up in the gym, just working on her fitness. God's my witness. So they think like it's a joke, it's a game. She juicy. We're gonna feast. And the devil's like, what do you want? You want some extra clout? You want some extra money, Dame Dash? You want whatever? Well, it's gonna cost you something. For Dame Dash, I think apparently it might have costed him his teeth. Did y'all see that recently? Like his teeth flew out of his mouth. There's a price. The devil always comes to collect. Okay. Nevertheless, Dame says, yeah, devil, I want to play. I want the fame. I want the fortune. I want the money. And then he comes up against somebody and he realizes that everything's not so funny. They will want that. But the devil says, okay, you got to bring the earth angel to me. That's the deal. Meaning you have to be able to take the earth angel out. Meaning, and I don't mean any literal way, but I mean emotionally, spiritually. You need to cause something so detrimental that they are knocked out and they are never able to love, give, be kind, share. They want you to be jaded. Like that's the job of the demonic entities that are attached to them, to get you to never care, to never love, to never be optimistic, to never manifest, to never get better, to never have the energy to even vet, to never leave hermit mode forever and ever in perpetuity. Guys, that's why I say don't stay in hermit mode. You have your time and your season for that, but that's also a spiritual attack. How much would your narcissistic ex love for you to never date again? Listen, like I said, the soulmate dating, it's been bizarre. I'm not even gonna hold you, but what I'm going to tell you is I'm proud of me because I step back outside every time. You know, the rest of this song, there's one part where Kanye says, I walk the line and I'll let God decide. That's the thing, guys. You have to let God decide. You can't always decide. You will make decisions and you will cut the people off that need to be cut off. But you can't hide your light either. You were dispatched here to do the work you need to do. And that means that there are people that are waiting to meet you. That's my favorite quote by Deepak Chopra. There are people waiting to meet you. There are people waiting to meet who you are becoming. So today, as I sit here, this was not me from yesteryear. I was a whole different energy and a whole different person. But I had to do this work to get here. And if I would have hermited because my narc exes wanted to have weird soul contracts that were upside down with me, what was I supposed to do? I'm sure they might love if they listen to a story or two that soulmate dating is bizarre, but what it didn't do was stop me. I still be living. And because I'm optimistic, I know one day it's going to be signed, sealed, delivered. So I am pushing forward, and I think you should too. Don't let people with their projected fears and their hate and their vitriol and bitterness of you stop you from doing and being you. Now back to Dame. I smell a massacre seems to be the only way to back you bastards up. He had to cut Dame off, and to Dame that was a massacre, and he may have really despised him for that. He may have really felt slighted, and to this day he's still milling about, spilling his feelings in the air. Jay-Z doesn't talk about Dame very often. They've had a couple of pictures and a couple of photo ops and moments, but it's not been anything that's tangible because Jay-Z meant what he said. Jay-Z seems to have great boundaries, even though Jay-Z is Jay-Z and he's diabolical, and I'm sure there'll be more shenanigans that come out because that's life. But what I think about is his song with Beyonce, Friends. One of my favorite songs. It's a mood, it's a vibe. But she was like, essentially, my friends, your friends, better than. I'm gonna look it up. I have my little thing here, my little tablet. So let's look it up. We're gonna talk about the lyrics to Friends because I really feel like that. There we go. I really feel like you should hear that part. But when Jay-Z's talking about that, he was like, large, what does he say? He says, tight circle, no squares, friends. Jay-Z and Beyonce. Hold on, guys. Tight circle, no squares. I'm geometrically opposed to you. And I thought that was brilliant, because Jay-Z is brilliant in his own way. Friends, Beyonce. Sorry, guys. Okay. Tight circle, no squares. I'm geometrically opposed to you. He says, oh, he's so brilliant. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. So I love this because I feel like this is the mantra going forward. If people want to make you the monster because you're cutting people off, what they don't understand is the behind the scenes as to the why you're doing that, because you've understood, you've seen liability. I always say the faces may change, but the behavior will be the same. You have amassed a data bank in your previous abusive scenarios where you now know if someone's doing this, it doesn't matter what they say they are or who they say they could be or how they're presenting or how nice they may have seemed. If it looks like behavior from a past, that's not just a triggered red flag. It's a red flag, but it's not just a triggered flag, meaning like, don't overlook it thinking, oh, maybe I'm, no. That's valuable intel. And it saved you so much time. I know what an emotional, nonsensical roundabout that one person I was talking about took me through, but it's something that I allowed because I knew the truth pretty immediately, that she was shit and that she had it out for me. And I don't naturally think that way. I still soulmate date. I still go about my life. I still make friends. I still take flights. But I understand from those lessons in my life that this is someone who is so unhealed and so toxic and also so down in the dumps about whatever their situation is. And I could have gone in thinking, I'm going to do nothing but uplift you. Like, you raise me up. Like, I just want to help. And the resentment that comes, and that's what Jay-Z knows intrinsically and very wisely, is that people that want that kind of proximity to you that aren't willing to do the work that you're willing to do and don't have the work ethic, man, okay? I'm not trying to sound like Kim K, but don't have the work ethic you do, will want to have exactly what you want to have, so they'll stay close to you while they resent the fuck out of you. I was just talking with a client tonight, right before this, we were talking about how we have had to excuse people from our auric field and proximity because they don't really like us, but they want to still be there to either be thieves, to see what they can see, to be nosy, to have access to whatever degree for whatever reason, but they can't stand us. They can't stand you, and that will happen sometimes, Earth Angels. People will not like you but still want to be close to you. It's the strangest thing to me because I'm like, okay, well, get thee behind me, Satan. I'm fine about that, but not those people. They want back in and back and back and back. If Jay-Z could hang out with Dame today, he would, just so he could soak up some of the good that comes with being proximal to Jay-Z. And what I'm learning about myself is how I am perceived, and I think that might be something to ask yourself. How do you think people perceive you, collective? Because I had it messed up. I did not understand what people feel around me or in my presence. And this year, or last year really, I asked my angels, make it clear to me how people see me, because I realized I wasn't protecting my emotional and personal property the way I needed to, because I didn't realize how I affect people. And I think if you understood how people feel about you, it's not to care about how they feel specifically, but as an experiment to understand that you should maybe be carrying yourself differently, because people see you differently. And I was thinking like, I'm just me. I'm just Jenny from the block. Like, I grew up in the projects. Don't be scared of the rocks that I got, because maybe they're from Amazon. Like, relax. I am so down to earth, I think, but that's not what other people see. And then they see maybe an opportunity, and that's why those girlies that are talking about being fake and protecting your energy, they're not wrong. Like, not that you should be fake, but protect your energy all along, because people will look for a crack and a chink in the armor, and they will want to dismantle you, because just you being there, being as good as you really are without any pretense or shenanigans, makes people feel like shit, which I don't even understand. I'm going to tell you something before I read this that happened to me. When I was in London, I went to the Beyonce concert. Actually, a nice segue. Thank you, angels. I went to the Beyonce concert, and I was actually with the girl that I was soulmate dating. And so we went to see Beyonce in London. Okay, on the run. It was great. Beyonce was great, whatever the case may be. We're leaving afterwards, and we were supposed to have, like, an Uber arranged or something that she was supposed to take care of that she didn't. Anyway, we found ourselves in the crush walking towards the subway station. Now, my energy is fixed stuff, you know, and that's just me. Like, I'm a Girl Scout in my soul. And so it wasn't like I had to physically fix, like, the mechanics of a car. But I was like, I trusted her to, like, handle things because she even had the app or whatever. I don't even think I had the app or anything like that. So, or whatever. But she was supposed to arrange it. She'd arranged our right there or whatever. But I don't know what happened. The ball was dropped. There was a lot of balls dropped that trip. But the ball was dropped, okay? And so I was just like literally walking up to people like that were in the street. Because it was like traffic jam, but there were cabs and there were people there and like Ubers like kind of intermixed through. And so I literally walked up to people and I was like, how much is it going to be to hire the car to get us out of here? Because I was like, we're not going to be living at the stadium for the next 14 hours, which is what would have happened in the traffic jam and all the stuff that we were dealing with. And God knows where whatever she had ordered was. I think it didn't even come through. And she was like, we can walk like 17 miles to the subway. So I was like, girl, absolutely not. This is what we work for. This is what I work for anyway. So I literally solicited somebody from the street. It was like, hey, can we hire you to take us? Was it going to be whatever the case may be? Well, as we're doing that, there were some other girls trying to do the same thing that were kind of like walking alongside us. And at one point, the girl, she's a little buzzed. You know, we have been on the run with B all night. So she looks over at me. And you know what they say? A drunk man speaks sober thoughts or whatever. Reverse it. A drunk man tells no tales, or alcohol is truth serum. People tell the truth when they're drunk. That part, okay? So she looks at me and she says, look at you. And I was like, you know, I'm in a different country. I don't know if like I'd done something. I don't know what happened. She was like, look at you. She was looking, look at us. And she was like, she said, we look like fuck all. And look at you. She was very honest and actually kind of sweet, and we laughed and whatever, and she was really complimentary after that. But it was the way she said it was so British and so funny, and she was like, I look like fuck all. And I was like, you don't look like fuck all, your outfit's really cute. What are you talking about? But I had worn what I wanted to because it made me happy, and I did my hair the way I wanted to, and I wore fairy lights under my freaking tutu skirt, and I wore a pink sequins jacket, and I had all my titties to the sky and to the gods, and I had my hair just as high as the 80s, and it was fabulous, and I loved every second of it. And I had tinsel in my hair because Beyonce wouldn't care. But I didn't think anything of that, nor did I dress that way to intimidate anybody or to make anybody feel bad. I had lovely compliments as we were walking in, and people stopped to take pictures, and it was great. But I didn't think about it that way. It just was, I'm going to see Beyonce. This is probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me, and I'm going to make the most of it because you have to make the most of every day. I didn't think it would affect other people's energy to that degree, where someone by the end of the night would be like saying, you know, I look like fuck all, just look at me. And again, she cleaned it up and was super sweet, and her friends were sweet and they were complimentary, but she was like, your outfit's amazing. It was so sweet. That's what I mean by ask how you're perceived. I did not think a thing about it. Now here's the difference. I have been around friends and family and lovers that have thought that, but it was malicious. It was jealousy. And then they let that jealousy brew into envy instead of just talking to me and being real. Because we all are inspired by people. Jealousy is that for a reason. It makes you want to aspire to the next thing. Maybe I can do that. Or maybe I can incorporate that. Or maybe whatever. But people get weird. I don't know, y'all. For me, it gets really strange. And that's why I say cut people off when you realize that they're going to be a liability. Because if he would have kept Dame around, that jealousy that he had, which is clearly evident now in every podcast Dame is on, was brewing into envy. And he would have done something diabolical to Jay-Z. And yes, Jay-Z shanked him before he could be shanked actually. Because that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, in the spiritual world, I've slayed a demon or two myself. It's funny, someone recently in the comments said, you look radiant. And I was thinking of the song, a lot of Nicki and Kanye and stuff coming through lately, but she says, just killed another career. It's a mild day. Well, I was thinking just snacked another narc. It's a mild day. And also, when you snack a narc, you start to radiate because you're calling your power back. You're taking your energy back. That's how you really know you're under spiritual attack. Sometimes you'll be in it and not realize you're in it. I usually know I'm in it. I'm very aware with some shamanistic things. We'll talk about that later. But it is a thing where you have to know that people will be clocking that energy from you, and not everyone's going to tell you their truth that they're actually jealous of you. So you may have to escort yourself out of friendships that you might actually want to be in. You might actually like the people. You might think they're dope as fuck. You might want to work with them. You might want to be friends with them. You might want to make love to them. Whatever is your dynamic with whatever scenario you're in, but they are competing with you, and nothing's worse than having a lover that is your op, okay? That's the worst, because they have literal access to your sacral energy, and they are siphoning, and they will go and sprinkle all that good juju energy on everybody else around them, because they're like, I got the power, and they're so excited, and they're like, a little for you, a little for you, a little for you, but not for you, collective. And that's why you have to keep your circle tight, no squares. Be geometrically opposed to haters. Anyway, we're going to go through the song here tonight. I think we are going to. Beyonce says, my friends, real friends, better than your friends. That's how we keep popping out of that Benz. Yeah, no foes, real friends. We ain't even got to pretend. Get bands, spend it all on my friends. That's also my motto, Beyonce. When I am doing good in whatever degree, I'm not just talking about money, but like emotionally, spiritually, I want to share that with the people around me. And people that are in a poverty consciousness will resent the fuck out of you for that. Whether it's actual finances or it's information they want to like prove to you, or they think that you're trying to. And I'm like, what is wrong? People do not emotionally regulate, guys. They are not all well, okay? And I have mental health illness as well too. I deal with depression, it's just like a lot of you guys out there. And maybe some of you do, or maybe some of you have different situations, but you're taking care of yourself. You're taking your medication. You're going to therapists. There are a lot of people out there that are like, this isn't happening. Well, it's happening. I'm always aware when it's happening for me. Please be a good steward of your mental energy, because it affects other people, guys, and it will cause that kind of jealousy where the drunk girl on the street's going to be really funny and say something cute and be complimentary of me. The person in my face that I could be dating, the person that's my friend, the person that is a family member, is just silently fucking hating on me. And I feel it. And that's the thing you need to understand, guys. Not only do I feel it, specifically, I hear it. If I would freak people out if I told them what I hear, but I just observe people because it's just interesting to see how they're going to play in my face. And that's the bed that they make for themselves, and the demons are ready to eight is what I'm hearing. They're robbing them of abundance. Someone's getting robbed of financial abundance, or going through like a financial hardship because of coming against you for some whatever reason. The thing about it is those people will stand right in front of you, and they'll never communicate that with you. But because you are an empath, an earth angel, because you are a Hyoka empath, whatever kind you are, you feel the energy signature of what is coming to you. I've had friendships where I'm with people and I'm like, girl, you don't like me. Like, what is really happening? And then I can feel all of their negative self-talk, their doubt. They're like, who do you think you are? How dare you? Especially, oh God, this is a thing that happens to me all the time because of the way that I look. And I'm not talking about like, oh, Monette, you're cute. No. Because I'm a big girl, because I'm a black girl, because I'm a big black tall girl in this world, there have been so many people that are just like, instantly I'm better than you. I won. You win, I lose. Very Nikki, right? You win, I lose. Or you lose, I win. Whatever. And so if I am rising to any different station, or if I'm elevating to any degree, oh my God, that shatters their whole egoic reality. So you need to understand how people perceive you. Maybe that's the side note to this lesson, or the main note. You need to know what people think of you, not so that you can fixate on it, so that you can be aware on how to carry yourself, and especially with whom, because you never know. Now, also, here's the thing that happens to us Earth angels. People get proximal to us, they get tempted by the devil, and they will go rogue. So they could come in and they could be innocent and sweet as a lamb, and then the offer will come in and the devil's like, well, bring us the Earth angel, and then the world will be your biggest fan, whatever it is that they want, whatever that is for them, and they are challenged to bring you as the sacrificial offering. And I've been in rooms watching demons and angels wait because there was food that was promised to be on their plate. And I know you would not believe me if I told you, but even the demons were like, damn, we're going to feast. But it's not going to be on your sweet meat. We're going to take this person that promised that they could bring your sadness, your soul. When I say sell your soul, what they want to do is get you emotionally dysregulated so that they can siphon and tap into you, because then other demonic attachments can really make you their host. It's a parasitic exchange where now if you're in a low vibrational place, you can take on the spirit of fill in the blank, right? So if it's of depression, or if it's of jealousy, or if it's of, whatever. And depending on who who is on the other side of you that promised you up sacrificially, you'll probably take on whatever it is their energy. That's the destiny swap. People are talking about that, and it sounds like very like this nebulous idea, but that's exactly what's happening. It's like, can I give you my misery in exchange for your abundance, to whatever degree you have abundance? And this is not about finance. I'm talking about just your spiritual abundance. That is worth immense. And so that is what they want to do. Anyway, let's go back to friends. She says, they're going to pull me up and never let me down. And she says, my friends, your friends, better than your friends. Okay. My friends are goals, your friends are foes. We fly, we cry, our souls exposed. We smoke, we laugh. Your stress and my stress, closer than kin. I'm blessed, you blessed. That's my motto. As a Leo, if I'm blessed, you're blessed. And I have never seen so many demonic manifestations by just trying to bless people. That lets you know about the level of spiritual work they have to do. You're not ready for money, sweetie. You're not ready for abundance. You guys have a lot of therapy to do, because you will always sabotage whatever you do manifest that comes to you. People don't understand how the spiritual laws and principles work, and it's not that I have the greatest understanding of it, guys. What it is I've watched it. I've watched the light leave people's eyes as they try to attain something, a person, a thing, a clout position, and there wasn't any passion there within. And the demon, the demons, I keep hearing Cat Williams, it's a demon. The demons come and they just consume them, because the demons will be fed. Man, that's so interesting. Anyway, Jay says this. He says, 10 toes, we were out on that road looking for love in wrong places. We proposed to a stove. He's talking about his come up, cooking drugs, specifically share jewels, share clothes. That's how deep the shit goes. Yeah, every week I got bros. Yeah, all of y'all fake close. He's accusing other people of having fake relationships. Specifically, he's talking to Kanye here. And I think that was solidified recently with Kanye's rant about his kids. That was wildly inappropriate and mean. Anyway, he says, every week y'all got bros. Yeah, all of y'all are fake close. Y'all switching sides like NBA teams just after halftime. He says, I'm pulling up on my dog to make sure he's okay. I don't even have time. Meaning he's pulling up on his favorite friend, and he talks about him here specifically, and he's pulling up on him, and he was like, I don't even really have time to do that. I'm busy. Truly, he is. He's Jay-Z, and he's with Beyonce. They busy. But he's like, if you're my friend, I'm still pulling up. I'm checking on you. And that's what you need to understand and about yourself, is that that's the level of loyalty you offer. So never doubt what people are trying to project onto you. You know exactly who you are, specifically. Anyway, I don't even have time. He says, then caught me a Porsche with butterscotch seats. This is before they had mills. Live better than rappers, and they don't even have bills. That's real. He's talking about buying a car for his friends, and they were living better than rappers, and they didn't even have deals. He says, bought Emery, and they don't even have bills. It's that real. Bought Emery a BM as soon as he came home. We hopped on a plane, headed straight to the Bay. That's how we turned the game on. It's game on. When Ty's mama died, that's his bestie, Ty. He said, when Ty's mama's died, I was there. My nephew died, he was there. He's in my house more than I be there, more than B's there. Now that's a friend. He said, this man's in my house more than I'm there and more than my wife is there. It is so good. And then he says, more than B's there. He says, Ty's there, E's there, Breezy's there, Juan's there, High here, Shaka there, Law there. They're all here. He's talking about his whole crew. And he names them. He says, Des there, Kawana here, shit feel like Nirvana here, crib like the Soho house. I might stay in and grow out my hair. This is his pre-Basquiat-esque locks. He says, tight circle, no squares. I'm geometrically opposed to you. Y'all like to triangles. Y'all like to troll, do you? You talk around hoes, do you? Y'all don't follow codes, do you? We know everything you say from the folks close to you because you're emotional. When I say free the dogs, I free them. That's how Meek got his freedom. Y'all put folks on a shirt. It hurts you didn't ever meet them. He's talking about the Kardashians putting Biggie and Pac on the shirt. Y'all put folks on the shirt. Hurts that you didn't ever meet them. Y'all got folks in the feds. You're not even trying to feed them. I'm trying to free the world. That's how deep I'm in. I ain't going to nobody's nothing if me and my wife are beefing. I don't care if the house is on fire. I'm dying, man. I ain't leaving. Tai, take care of my kids after he's done grieving. If y'all don't understand that, we ain't meant to be friends. It's one of the most powerful verses. Y'all need to listen to it. I will connect it below. But that is so powerful. He's like, listen, this is what friendship is to me. Kanye was upset that Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't come to his wedding with the Kardashians. Well, sometimes when you have an intuition, you can tell something's a farce. That went up in flames. Kim can't stand Kanye to this day. She has kids with him. They will always have to interact, but it was a game they both wanted to play. And Beyonce and Jay-Z said, I want no parts of that. If you're someone's friend, you're not obligated to co-sign into all of the fuckery. You don't have to show up and transmute all of the energy and waste your energy and your fantastic sacral creativity helping them parse through their marital unbliss reality, whatever that is for them. We all have unbliss at times. We all have shenanigans at times. I know that personally, but what I'm telling you is that it's not your job to be someone's dialysis machine in perpetuity. And he was like, my friends are here. I can tell you who they are. I can tell you what I do for them. I can tell you the loyalty. If I died, this guy would take care of my kids, and I could trust him to do that completely. And I've left him money and set him up so that he can do that. He says, I'm not going to nobody's nothing if me and my wife are beefing. That was at the time when Jay-Z was especially cheating and Beyonce was penning lemonade. And he was like, our household's not good, so here's where I need to stay. He decided to actually stick and cleave for once to his B for once, because she threatened him and said, next time you're gonna lose your wife. Keep playing with Becky and find out just how nice the bed will feel when it's empty and it feels like ice. Anyway, back to this with your friends. You need to understand that your friendships need to be protected, and they should be intimate, and they should be vetted and tested. But if anybody just wants to get around you and then they want to call it friendship because they want to be proximal, because they want what that comes with you, what you benefit them with, what they can gain, then cut them free, sis. Again, take a page from my book with that most disappointing and just unpleasant ex, and or whatever, girl, I don't even know what to call it, but that situation. And pink toe tarantula, that's what she was, with that person, and cut it off. I would have saved myself so much misery. She was filled with so much pus, spiritually. Does that make sense, guys? Like, people that aren't healed will pass that sickness on to you. And I'm like, why am I dysregulated? Why do I feel like boo-boo? I don't feel like boo-boo. I really like myself. I like my life. I know there's things I could work on. I know there's things I don't get right. But she was depressed. Actually, I'm channeling that right now. Like, she was depressed. Well, anyway, my angels told me that long ago. But they were like, there was a lot more going on there. And I was like, why be close to someone just for them to pass this nonsense on to me, when all I did was come in, as I was dispatched to do, from her prayers specifically, to make dreams come true. Sometimes people think they want their dreams to come true. They really don't. They want to be struggling and gossiping and being in the lower vibration, and the entity attachments are too strong for them to fight, and they have no awareness. If you told some of the people, if I told some of the people when I'm looking at them, like, there's a demon right there, like, they would just be like, okay, Mona, you're crazy. Like, what are you, like, so I just let them be filled with the demon energy that they love to be filled with, because they're not ready to do the work that it takes to deal with that, and they don't even want to know, and I don't want to know, so I just go. Tight circle, no squares. I'm geometrically opposed to you. Y'all like to triangles. Y'all like to troll, do you? I know everything because you're emotional. You talk too much to the people close to you. That's another thing, y'all. Just a thing too. Dame was super chatty patty, and he says he hates that, but he was that, and gossipy and whatever. And so the business moves that Jay-Z was making, he would leak sometimes. And I pay attention when there are people in my life too, when they're like, this person loves to hear all of this, or this person loves the tea, or da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, why are you talking about me, homie? Because, like, there's no one in my life that I'm talking to about unless it's my therapist. So that has gone for people that soulmate dated, friends, whatever the case may be. So when I find that people have that level of disloyalty, when he says tight circle, no squares, I'm geometrically opposed to you, Tai hasn't remained his proximity to Jay-Z because he played his position like he was supposed to. Instead of hating when his dog was getting money and getting it out of the mud, he was his biggest support, and he paid it in blood, I'm sure, and repaid him over and over and proved it over and over again. And now he's his closest friend, where the rainbow will never end for him. You know there's millions set aside for him. You know there's millions in his own bank account. You know there's nothing he couldn't go to this man for. People play themselves out of their position if they are proximal to you, Earth Angel, because they rather shank you, betray you, get you, sell you to the devil, whatever they are wanting to do because they're bored, and they don't realize that the real reward would have been loyalty. That's the real reward. Instead, they want you to be a monster because it's what they heard, or they think that you're an easy target, easy to change, easy to, rearrange. And the greatest gift would have been if they would have pushed past those feelings that were strange and got honest with themselves and decided to lean into actually giving reciprocally to you. But instead, you end up being the monster, and that's okay. Understand that with a massacre, you can get the zombies away. And also understand that if you're an earth angel, there will always be a demon that wants to play. The power is in your hands as to whether you allow them to stay, because if they do, they will siphon whatever you perceive to be your sparkle, your magic, and your abundance away. And then they still might shank you because they need you to be gone because you're evidence of whatever they siphon or copy or try to take. Jay-Z wasn't so crazy. He saw Dame as a headache. I've had a lot of headaches in my life, and I've not always handled them right. I've not always dealt with it immediately. And if there's anything that Pink Toe Tarantula taught me was to understand when someone is a total liability. And that way you don't have to morph right before their eyes into a monster. But guys, you will not escape the lore. They will call you a monster for the rest of your life, because that's what that spiritual battle was for. They needed to see the other side. They needed to know what it was like to be on the opposite end of the massacre. It's just one of you and your army of ancestors and angels that are behind you, but they can't see that, so they think you're alone. Your spirit team is always there. But even if you told them, guys, they wouldn't care. Anyway, that's your message for today. It's okay that you're a monster. It's because demons like to play. And Sasquatch, Gorilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, Ghoul, Goblin, a zombie with no conscience. What do all of these things have in common? They're monsters. They have lore. They have aura, even. And that means that they'll be attacked. Can you imagine if Godzilla could speak? I mean, we've seen a million movies, but the Loch Ness is really into 18th century literature and likes to have tea every day at noon. But because of the lore and the mystery, he's a monster and he must be harpooned. That's how people see you sometimes. And you're really like, I just want to have tea and read my 18th century literature and play with, my best friend Nessie. And I want to peek my head up and watch the people because I love people watching, because it's so interesting to come from my murky depths up to the sun. I love the sunlight. I need some vitamin D. But they see you and they're like, it's Loch Ness. And they want to capture the energy. Misunderstanding's all about, but also demonic attachments. Do not underestimate that. They will come for you. And if you have to turn into a monster, it's a little skill set that we Earth Angels have and we are capable to do. Surprise, surprise. Sometimes the monster just might be you. But don't forget, collective. That's relative. You know the truth. So good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time, guys. We'll continue to evolve together.